And what today is really about, or what the last few weeks have been about, is our animal friends. And that's who I would like to talk about this afternoon. There are many beautiful, amazing friends of ours who are locked up in factory farms as we speak. Some of them are in abattoirs, some of them are in sale yards, and some are in factory farms. And what I think a lot of people don't realise is there are some people that know that they're in cages and a lot of people don't. But what a lot more people don't realise is that they're amazingly magnificent creatures. And a lot of us have spent time with dogs and cats and we tend to know them pretty well. But a lot of people don't realise that chickens and pigs and cows and sheep and the animals that are traditionally seen to be as just to eat or to use for human purposes, it really doesn't need to be that way. There is another more positive way. I've spent a lot of time over the last few years spending time with these animals in factory farms, and I've spent a lot of time with the animals on sanctuaries as well. And when I get to know them, I'm just so inspired, and I get more and more just absolutely compelled by them. And I realise that I have so much more to learn from them than I could ever possibly offer them. Look at something so natural as, for example, we've got little David over here, David the calf. Last night, David spent his first night here. He's just come from a dairy farm, and he's one of the unwanted male calves because, of course, he'll never give milk, so he's not very useful to them. So, normally he would have a very different journey to the one that he's going to have. But last night he starts sniffing around at the grass and he starts wondering what he's going to eat. He's mainly bottle fed at the moment, and he starts licking water off the leaves because he couldn't find where the water was yet, but he found that pretty easily. But I realised that very simple skill is something that we actually miss. Human beings have forgotten how we actually live in harmony with the earth. How many of us can truly say that we could go out and find our own food unless we actually go to a shop and hand over cash for it? How many of us can say that we can have love and compassion and forgiveness to the point that our doggy friends in the yard can? You know, they're just so amazing, and we've got so much to learn from them, and we have so much to gain just from being with them and choosing to live a life in harmony with them as well. So I hope that go and have a chat to David and get to know him. I can already tell that he's a really strong-willed spirit. He's a real gentle soul, but he's going to be pretty big one day, and I know that he's just got lots of power. He'll know what he wants. That's very evident already, and I'm sure he'll touch the hearts of many people. On Monday morning, I'll be picking up a little chick from a local hatchery, and he would have been destined to be a broiler chicken, so he would have lived for about 6 weeks. He's not even born yet. He'll be born on Sunday night. He's just in spirit with us at the moment. But yeah, so he would live for 6 weeks, and he would live inside what's a broiler farm. And just for those of you who don't know what a factory farm is, I'm just going to take the time to explain them as well. So a broiler chicken farm is the type of farm that exists to grow chickens for meat. And so they're in a big, large shed. Some of you may have seen the sheds that exist out at Sunnybrand. They're empty these days. They don't have chickens in them, but yeah, they used to. And so you get about 10,000 chickens living in that environment. And when they're small, there's a bit of room to move, but once they grow up, they're packed in pretty tightly. And they have little water droplets to drink out of. It's all kind of automated. They eat feed, and they have a very difficult life, and it's because of the way they've been bred. So they're bred to grow very, very quickly. So you can imagine a chicken really in 6 weeks is still a baby, but these guys are fully bred so that they can, there's more meat and more meat for people to eat in just 6 weeks. So they end up having a lot of problems with their hips and their legs, and a lot of them can't walk, and a lot of them die before they even go to the abattoir. The time when they actually take them from the shed and put them on trucks is absolutely horrific, and then of course they're off to the abattoir. So that's their life for 6 weeks. It's very different to a battery hen. So battery hens are actually in a small cage. You've got 3 or 4 basically in and they would have the size of an A4 piece of paper to stand on, They live there for about 12 to 18 months. Their feet are on the wire all their life, and they can get food and water in the front. And probably one of the worst experiences they go through is when they're taken from the cages at the end, when they're not laying eggs anymore. They lay 1 egg a day for that period of time, and then someone comes along and takes them out, and then they'll go to chicken soup or nuggets. The other types of animals that we've been campaigning on behalf of on this walk are pigs as well. Pigs are, I hesitate to say that they're the worst, because every time I talk about one, I think that's definitely the worst. But yeah, pigs are just so incredibly intelligent. And when, I know yesterday we visited a piggery, and there was a pig who looked me in the eye, and I always find that so difficult, because they look you straight in the eye and they look right through your soul, and they're asking, why am I here? You can just feel it every time. They're amazingly intelligent when you spend time with them in a free environment. They're very much like a dog. They love to run around, they love to play, they've got lots of energy, and they love to follow you, and they like to be with you. And they're just absolutely amazing creatures. But in a piggery, they're stuck in small stalls, and yeah, they never get to leave there. And usually they're concrete, a lot of the stalls. And then the sow stalls is one of the worst. That's the mother pigs. So they're producing more pigs to make more meat. And the sows live for a period of 3 to 4 months, a stall the same size as them, so they could probably take 1 step forward, 1 step back. And they're often chewing on the metal bars because psychologically they're having problems from being in that environment. So yeah, they're horrific. And then something that we're also following suit to the United States is feedlots. So we've got about 30% of our cows and 10% of our sheep live in feedlots. And they basically just have a big muddy paddock, say the size of this. It's got a fence around it, and then the cows or the sheep are actually packed in, and they eat pellet graze food, and the whole point is so that they're not getting any exercise, so they get fattened up. So that's basically factory farm in a nutshell. It's basically animals who are deprived of exercise, they're given unnatural foods, they're unable to express their natural behaviours. And I think this is why a lot of people don't realise how amazing they are. It's just that they're living in environments where they don't get to express their natural behaviours. So I just really encourage everybody to really get to know these animals, because it's so worth it. And they're so amazing to be around. And I hope that everybody realises how each of us can make such a powerful choice on their behalf. It's time that we really looked at the fact that the animals on our dinner plate, they once were a sentient being. There's no other way of looking around it. There is a completely direct link. If we eat meat, we're eating an animal. That animal wouldn't have to die, wouldn't have to live a life like that if we choose not to eat meat. So that's an incredibly powerful way that we can all make a difference to both animals, to our environment, and also to our own health. So that's about the animals.